Hey folks, it's Sam Jacobs. Welcome back to the Sales Hacker Podcast. Happy Friday. It's Friday Fundamentals. We've got Blake Bartlett, our guest for the week, back on the show. And we're going to be talking about why product-led growth is not anti-sales and is actually sales supportive on today's episode of Friday Fundamentals. Before we get there, of course, we want to thank our sponsor. Our sponsor for Friday Fundamentals, as always, is Outreach. Outreach triples the productivity of sales teams and empowers them to drive predictable and measurable revenue growth. By prioritizing the right activities and scaling customer engagement with intelligent automation, Outreach makes customer-facing teams more effective and improves visibility into what really drives results. Now, Blake, welcome back to the show. Our question for you today is, why is product-led growth not anti-sales?
Yeah, this is a common misconception that I hear when people hear the idea of product-led growth. They think that, I'm pitching or other people that are talking about are pitching this magical concept of a product that just sells itself for all time with no humans ever sort of interacting with the customer. And that's not what it is. The sort of textbook definition, if you will, that I've come up with for product-led growth is that product-led growth is a go-to-market strategy that relies primarily on the product itself as the driver of customer acquisition, conversion, and expansion. And the key operative word there is primarily. It's not exclusively. And so there's still a role for humans, there's still a role for sales, but it just changes the order of operations of when sales gets involved and what the customer journey looks like. So if you think about the sales-led world, again, lead comes to the website, reads some content, does whatever, becomes qualified and is now an MQL, is going through the nurturing process from your marketing automation system. Maybe an SDR is reaching out to try to further qualify or engage that warm lead. Then it becomes a sales qualified lead. Then it becomes a sales accepted lead. Then eventually, a certain percentage of those become, closed won. And then you go into implementation, and maybe it's a very easy implementation or configuration that, kind of a couple clicks and somebody's off to the races. And then the end users start using their product and get their fingers on the keyboard and they actually start seeing the UI. So the easiest way to talk about that is that sales leads and the product follows. And in product-led growth, it's the exact opposite. Back to the example I gave on the podcast earlier this week, think about Slack. Right? You didn't start with the SDR cold call and then go through the sales funnel. And then months and months later, you eventually get your fingers on the keyboard and start messaging. You start with your fingers on the keyboard and message and get value out of it as a team. And then Slack on their side, they start to see you, convert because you hit the paywall, you swipe the credit card, you start paying a small amount, and then it starts to grow and scale from there. And then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, well, I can't really do this on a credit card anymore. There's too many users, and maybe I need to go to the enterprise grid and I need all the sort of bells and whistles, but I'm not going to self-service that. So I need help. And maybe that help is initially through somebody that looks more like customer success. And that customer success person is helping you, again, go from swiped credit cards to an invoice, figure out your payment terms, understand that you can get all of these other things out of Slack. It's really great. And they're helping you. They're not selling you, they're helping you. You're already using the product and we want you to be able to use more. We want you to be able to use it on your terms. We want to make sure that you're using the full value of this product because we've built a lot here. There's integrations, there's all different kinds of things you can do with Slack. And then, the deal continues to grow, right? And then you get to a point where it's like expanding out of one office or one branch or one department or one team with a customer success person helping. Then it becomes something where it's like, okay, we're going truly enterprise wide and we're in a large organization. And now I'm hitting budget limits. Now I'm hitting security questionnaires. Now I'm hitting all these things where I have to go through procurement and legal and things. And guess what? That's a great fit for sales. And so the sales team can now get involved at this point. And maybe we're months into the journey that the original end user started, or maybe we're even might be years into the journey, right? We might have gotten a long way on self-service and customer success. And now we're getting involved in saying, okay, how can I, as the sales rep, support you? Because we're actually aligned. We're not sitting on two opposite sides of the table like traditional sales, where I'm trying to convince you why you need to buy my product and not my competitor's product, and why you need to allocate budget to this as opposed to something else. Instead, we both want the same exact thing. You're already using my product. You love my product. You're getting value out of it. You want to use more of it, but you need help. I want you to use more of my product and I want to sell you more of it. So I'm on the same side of the table as you. And we have a common goal of getting enterprise-wide adoption of this product. And so instead of convincing and selling you I can act much more like I basically equate it to a Sherpa, right? I am helping you along your journey. I want you to get to the peak of that mountain. You can't do it on your own. I'm the expert that's going to help you navigate all the pits and valleys of sales and procurement, legal and procurement and things like that. And we will get to the promised land together. And that's the role of sales. It's a continuation of the journey where there is a handoff from self-service, product-led, low touch, or some people say tech touch and things like that, to a light touch with customer success, to eventually something that looks like this Sherpa-like sales journey where I'm helping you get to where you want to go. And we're both high-fiving at the end of it because we're equally as excited that you are now an enterprise-wide user of my product. So that's a long way to say that in product-led growth, product leads and sales follows.
I love it. And I love the articulation, because the other thing it does is in some ways it elevates the role of the salesperson, because you can be that consultative supporter, that Sherpa, as opposed to, basically making promises that have to be then verified and tested after the customer potentially has already made the purchase. And so I think it shifts the positioning of the salesperson as well into something that maybe is a little bit more trusted advisor than might otherwise be.
Definitely.
Blake, it's been great having you on the show this week. If folks want to reach out to you, remind us of the best way to get in touch.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, just Blake Bartlett. I'm a partner at OpenView. Add me or follow me. I am constantly talking about product-led growth and all things related to the new customer journey that we see. So message me there and would love to connect.
Awesome. Thanks. And if folks want to reach out to me, it's linkedin.com/in/Sam F. Jacobs. And otherwise, we will talk to you next time.